Bruce Barton said, "Nothing splendid has ever been achieved except by those who dared believe that something inside them was superior to circumstance." Those who believe that something inside them is superior to circumstance. Because all the time, and in my coaching practice I get this a lot, "Oh, well, you know, everything was going great, but then, you know, this happened." Or, "Oh, well, then I broke up with that person and it just, you know, changed my whole life." Or, "You know, my stocks tanked recently in this financial crisis, so now I can't possibly, you know, go on to succeed." Well, none of those things are even true. They're simply excuses, and in my practice I have a no excuse policy. You know, we can talk about the facts of what happened, but let's not use them as excuses to kind of push ourselves back down. We want to continue to grow and succeed as we go. So the whole point of psycho-cybernetics is that something that may have been difficult once can now become easy. And this is awesome if you think about the implications of what that means in your life for any different thing, business, you know, personal relationships, finance, family. There's so many things, you know, weight loss, all kinds of things can become easy. Now, if you are able to identify and manage the self-image, nothing is out of your reach. Now, to me, I find that really exciting because there's a lot of stuff out there that I want to go do. So I'm excited to go do it. Now, there's this concept of the blueprint that we all have in our minds, and sometimes it's not even a conscious thing. We don't realize that this is how, you know, how we're acting or how we're interacting with our self-image is this blueprint of who we are or what type of person we are. It's actually built on our beliefs, and most of those beliefs came from when we were younger, like me, trying out for the soccer team and saying, "Oh, sorry, you're too small, you're not big enough, you're not, you know, good enough to do this." So holding on to those beliefs, it can really limit us later in life, even if those things totally don't apply. I mean, I haven't tried out for soccer again, but how many different things have I tried to do maybe that I had kind of the same mentality? "Oh, well, I'm not big enough, I'm not good enough," whatever. So it applies again and again and again until we release those beliefs, and that's what we're gonna work on. Often it's the way that other people react to us. You know, sometimes especially in the school systems, kids can be ruthless. You know, and no matter what you have going on, there's teasing, sometimes there's joking, there's all this stuff, and sometimes that can be really harmful because if you take that on and kind of have held on to that inside, that can be detrimental as you go on because you're still going back to that belief. It probably wasn't even true. And, you know, that kid probably, maybe they didn't even know what they were talking about. So it's like, why are we still so, you know, imprisoned by these things? Basically, the self-image, it controls all of your success or lack thereof. So your behaviors and abilities are always consistent with your self-image, that idea of this is who I am or this is the type of person that I am. And the thing is that we cannot deviate from that self-image. We're always going to get pulled back to this is who I am. You know, I am not big enough, I am not good enough, all of that stuff. It's almost like a thermostat in your home. You know, if you set your thermostat in your home to say 70 degrees. Okay, so 70 degrees, awesome. Well then, you know, the sun comes out, sun's streaming in the windows, it's getting a little warmer, it's getting warmer, it's getting warmer. Sooner or later, that thermostat kicks on because it's going to pull you back to 70 degrees. Same thing, if it gets a little cooler, thermostat's going to kick in, pull you back to 70. Its whole purpose is to maintain that focus. Well, the same thing happens in our self-image because its whole purpose is to say, this is who I am, this is what type of person I am. So the circumstance, everything that comes in and out of our lives is going to be based on getting it back to that exact image. Now, diets are a great example of this because often people say, well, I have so much willpower, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to lose 10 pounds, I'm going to go on this diet, and, you know, life's going to be great. Well, if their self-image is, you know, one that says, you know, I am fat, or I have big thighs, or whatever, I mean, it doesn't even matter. Whatever this image is, they can diet all they want, but eventually, that same technique, it's going to pull them right back to that self-image that they have. That's why often diets don't even work. And then it's not even about your willpower. Willpower, it doesn't work at all against the self-image. So you cannot act otherwise despite, like I was saying, willpower or conscious effort. It's like, we'll try, and I'm going to do it, I'm going to plan and everything. Snap back. It's called the snapback effect because it always will come back to exactly what your self-image is defining you as. Now, no matter what anybody tries to do consciously in opposition to the self-image, it's not going to work for long. And maybe it will a little bit, but then that technique snaps you back to center. Now, you can't outperform this, you can't escape it, and even if you do briefly, like I said, back to 70 degrees, back to I'm fat, back to I'm a failure, back to whatever it is. Now, a failure type of person will actually find ways to bring failure into their life, which most of the time isn't conscious thinking. Obviously, who wants to say, oh, I'm going to go out and try and fail? No, that's not how it happens at all. It's this unconscious response, because if you have defined yourself as a failure type of person, when you go out, it's almost like you need to prove it to your self-image that you are. You're, this belief, this truth inside, this I'm a failure type person, that's the accuracy. So I have to fail, because then that wouldn't be true. But then my belief about myself would not be accurate. And the self-image wants to be accurate.